Hi guys, I'm back again. We're going to continue our book. We're on chapter 5, and Evan just brought over Gracie. Hi Gracie. Here's Gracie. She's going to read with us today. We just took her out of her house. All right, so we're going to read with a pal today. Gracie will sit here on my lap. So here we go. We need to push back the opening date. Mom told us over dinner that night in a short-term DC rental apartment. We also need to rethink the whole smoke and logs effect, added Dad. If you remember in the last chapter, they had the fire alarm and all the sprinklers went off. So this was not good news. As long as Mom and Dad fussed over their make-believe diorama of the last adventure, we wouldn't be going out on any new adventures. And we were itching for action. We kids wanted to jump back into the field and hunt for some new treasures. Mom and Dad, well, they thought their job was to educate and enlighten the public on the plight of the rainforest. Yep, that's what will happen. That's what'll happen when both your parents are super genius professors with multiple PhDs, in addition to their mad spy skills. They want to educate everybody they know. Meanwhile, we were stuck in a city, in an apartment, and we're used to sleeping on boats or in tents and under stars. That's interesting. I kind of feel stuck too in our house, right? So we kind of can relate to them feeling stuck. You guys, groused Beck, slamming down her knife and fork dramatically. We haven't had a real treasure hunt in months. We're bored, I added. Have you finished all of your homework? Asked Mom, because she's also a professor in charge of our homeschooling. We had homework, said Tommy. Washington, D.C. is full of history, said Mom. You four should get out and explore. It'll give you kids something exciting and thrilling to do, said Dad. School groups come to D.C. all the time. There's so much to see. The Lincoln Memorial, the White House, the National Gallery of Art. Say goodbye to Gracie. I think she wants to leave. Okay. The National Gallery of Art. Excuse me. They do have a Da Vinci and a Raphael, said Beck, softening. She, of course, is our resident artist, so she's a sucker for art galleries. I'd like to visit the Library of Congress, said Storm. See if they need any help cataloging their collection. I want to go to the International Spy Museum, I said, because I did. So we all agreed to stop whining. We'd take a break from treasure hunting, and we'd give DC a chance. So the next day, while Mom and Dad reworked the smoldering logs section of their Smithsonian exhibit, we checked out all of the other major tourist attractions. Storm, of course, was walking and talking as our guidebook. George Washington never lived in Washington, D.C. at all. Why, there's a bathtub in the basement of the Capitol building. The White House has 35 bathrooms, and until 1901, it used to be called the Executive Residence. By the middle of the afternoon, 3 of us were seriously bored. There's only so much white marble that you can stare at. There's only so much trivia that we can listen to our big sister blather. Here's an interesting tidbit of a little-known history, said Storm, the only one of us still enjoying the sightseeing. Right before World War II, curators at the Smithsonian and the National Gallery of Art feared that Washington, D.C. would become the target of a bombing blitz, just like the one over London. So, I said grouchily, because my feet were tired. So, they came up with a plan to build a super secret bomb shelter vault underneath Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. Memorial to hide the country's most valuable treasures. Treasures? Okay, Storm definitely had our attention again. So I'm going to get this up there so you can see that. There they are. There's Washington, D.C., and they're out. It says the Andrew Jackson statue across from the White House was particularly made from British cannons taken in the War of 1812. Sorry. There's a Darth Vader gargoyle adorning the National Cathedral. I don't think so. The bronze Statue of Freedom atop the Capitol Dome is 19 feet tall and weighs 15,000 pounds. So you guys could get on and you could do some of your own investigating about Washington, D.C. and all of the memorials and monuments there. Probably take a virtual tour. I'll have to look into that, see if I can find anything. Chapter 6. Who's this Oliver Wendell Holmes dude? Asked Tommy. Any relation to Sherlock? No, said Beck, because she and I went to more homeschool history classes than Tommy ever could. He was a major Supreme Court justice, 1902 to 1932. Oh, right. The scowling dude with the walrus mustache. Unfortunately, said Storm, the secret treasure vault was never built. Says who? History, said Storm. History, Tommy nodded. It knows everything that ever happened. Or maybe, I said, the phrase, it was never built, it's just super secret spy lingo for it was built. Exactly, said Beck. That's how you guard treasures. You deny that you're guarding them. Seriously? Said Tommy. It's the old deny it to hide it trick, I said. That is totally clever, said Tommy. I wish that I'd thought of it. You guys, said Storm, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yes, I said, it's time for another treasure hunt. A real one. First, stop, said Beck. The Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. Memorial? Let's go, I hollered. Lead the way. Here's Ellie. She's sitting over here. She's over in her little chair. Yeah. So she's joining us today too. Our big sister didn't budge. I couldn't find one in any of the maps of DC. Wow, I said. It's that big of a secret? That means it has to be a classified entrance to the, treasure vault. Well, not really, said Beck. I glared at her, and she glared at me. Maybe it was because we were tired of walking around Washington. Maybe we were hungry because we had passed up several hot dog carts on the wandering. Maybe it was just because it was time for us to explode. Because right there in front of Abraham Lincoln and a tourist group from Boise, Idaho, we launched into twin tirade number 2001. Our TTs, in case you've never witnessed one, Our rapid fire outbursts of anger between Beck and me that evaporate faster than a spilled droplet of canteen water in the Mojave Desert. We sizzle for a few seconds, let off a little steam, and then poof, there's nothing left. Usually we even forget what we were so steamed up about. If the Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. Memorial was real, shouted Beck, it would be on the map. Not if the people who built the National Treasure Vault underneath it wanted to keep it a secret. You mean like how Mom and Dad should have kept you a secret? Kids don't go on maps. Yes, they do, said Beck. They're called family trees. Oh, okay, you're right. Those are genealogical maps. And you and I are right next to each other, hanging out on that same branch, like two leaves. Or two nuts, said Storm, who usually doesn't get involved in our twin tirades. I don't know why I said triads. Tirades. She and Tommy know how to hang back and let Beck and me just tantrum and tirade until it's all over in a few seconds. But this was different. Tourists were staring at us. So was a young park ranger in a Smokey Bear hat. She had her eyes on us. Meanwhile, Tommy had his eyes on her. That's the end of the second chapter. I wonder who her is. The young park ranger in a Smokey Bear hat. Here's a picture. Might help. I think that's the park ranger in the Smokey Bear hat. There's the Lincoln Memorial. Here's their tirade. They're getting after each other. And this says, "Oh, brother. First brother versus brother in Civil War. Now brother versus sister right here." So, I wonder. I think we're about to start our first adventure. I think we're about to find out how and where they're going to be going. So thank you for joining today. Our next two chapters. Be back tomorrow with chapter 7 and 8. So again, if you can, if you're curious, investigate, find out some different places in DC, maybe even look up the Smithsonian Institute, find out all the different places you can go there. Okay, talk to you all later, or read to you all later. Bye, guys.